Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and place to be, it's Deb C. Bloop, that's me. Boop, Deb C. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week and a great day. If not a great day, then at least a good day or a passable day. You did not get a video from me last night because yesterday was a day. Yesterday, our water heater, our water tank broke, and it partially, part of our basement got super wet. So that is what I dealt with. That is what we dealt with part of the day yesterday. So after doing everything, everything is fixed. We do have a new water heater, and after everything that happened yesterday, I was like, forget it. I'm not doing anything. I still have yet to watch Sister Wives and make notes, but I will do that. But I was just so dead tired last night that I was like, forget it. I'm doing absolutely not a thing, nothing. So 0, 0, 0, nothing, none, nothing. So here I am. I watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City sporadically last night, the reunion part 1. And then I didn't make notes. And then today I rewatched it. And it's crazy because it always tapes, but it didn't tape last night. So I had to go to Peacock and watch it. So I watched it. I made some notes. So let us talk about it. First off, I want to say, I think I liked almost everybody's outfits. I thought they translated better on TV, like seeing them on TV, than in just a picture. There were 2 dresses that I wasn't super impressed with. I was not super impressed with Lisa's. Lisa's to me seemed a little basic. And Brittany's, I didn't like Brittany's at all. Brittany's, I don't know. Brittany's, I don't want to say it seemed cheap, because from what I understand, I think hers, I thought I saw something where they were talking about how expensive the cost of each gown, and Brittany's was actually, I think, the most expensive. Right? So, I liked, in pictures, I thought Heather's dress looked like a Mother of the Bride dress, but on her, I did like it. I thought it was a beautiful color, and I did like it. I loved Bronwyn's hair long, and my best dressed was Angie, and I was really surprised by Whitney's look, because typically Whitney's is like, but I was impressed by hers. All in all, I kind of wish they would have went with a theme, like a palette, but I can see where they were going though, kind of, because the back set was like Grease, and these were all most of them were like light pastel, breezy colors, so all in all, I didn't think it was too bad. Okay, let's get into it. Right off the bat, Meredith is like, listen, the answer to this, or how this goes, will set the trajectory for this reunion. And so right off the bat, Meredith and Whitney got into it. Whitney was like, I drank too much at BravoCon, and I completely own that. We all saw that. Even if you weren't there, if you saw a video from that, from Watch What Happens Live, she was beyond wasted. She was gone. So she was like, I admit I did drink at BravoCon. And she said to Meredith, I went up to Meredith and I said, I'm sorry for how things fell out between us, and I want to be friends. And Meredith was like, she came up to me, and Meredith kind of made it seem like Whitney had said that she apologizes for all the things that she said that Meredith did because I didn't do it. And she said Whitney was basically like, listen, I apologize for what I said you did because you didn't do it. And can we be friends? How did she say it? She says, we can be friends off camera, but we'll leave everything else in when the camera's on, or something like that. So basically it came down to like, listen, Whitney was like, you're lying on me. And Meredith is like, well, you're lying on me. Whitney, and like I said, Whitney is telling people that, hey, or Meredith is telling people, hey, listen, Whitney admitted that what she was saying that I did was wrong. Like, I didn't do that. And she's saying, I'm sorry for saying that because you didn't do what I said you did. And at the very end of it, it's just, they're never going to be friends. Like, that's just it. They're not going to be friends. Okay. Lisa, the RV trip, and the Ben Affleck of it all. So Lisa is saying, oh, I didn't go because I was working with Brad and I was working with Blake. Like, that's a big flex, Blake Lively. If you're flexing that you got to work with Blake Lively, you have I don't know if you're that great of a person. Anyways, she says, I didn't go because I was working. But then they do a flashback and she's like, she's on the phone with, maybe it was Angie, and she's saying, I'm not going because I can't stand to be around Bronwyn. She's a pathological liar. So we have her right there. And Heather is saying, I consider you to be a risky friend. And Lisa says, well, that's okay because I think you've been snaky. I think you've been a snaky friend, a snake. And then there was that whole thing of like, Lisa says that Heather told Angie to mention Todd cheating and farting while he's cheating because I think it'll be funny. And see, and that little tiny thing in there where Heather was like, it was funny. I don't know that Bronwyn and Heather are going to stay friends. Like, when you do stuff like that, I don't know about that. But now listen, could I kind of maybe see Heather saying that? I could kind of, because I mean, Heather and Bronwyn did not start off friendly. They just got friendly this past season, but I don't know if that, I'm not 100% convinced that they're going to stay friends. Also, I could see her maybe saying something like that because I feel like Heather self-produces. And I think she would think, oh, well, this could be a drama. It would be funny, but it could also be a drama that I can manufacture, that I can put out there. And the question, oh, no, wait. There was also this whole like, Lisa was like, oh, you two, meaning Heather and Angie, well, you two, you have to tag team. You can't speak on your own. You have to tag team. If that's the case, then if Heather and Angie are tag teaming, then Lisa and Meredith are tag team champions because they tag team each other. When Lisa wasn't completely speaking for Meredith, then they were tag teaming, and they were doing it throughout this whole reunion. They were doing that. Lisa, another thing where Lisa was like, writing is very Utah coded. It's very Utah to say writing, very Utah coded. And then she comes up and is like, well, I'm not from Utah. Heather's like, girl, you've been in Utah for 25, you're on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You've been in Utah. You've lived here for 25 years. where are you from? She's like, I am DNA coded, and in my DNA, it is New York, thick and through. It's New York. You're telling me she's trying to make it seem like she was, you know, like some hipster that was chilling in her Timberlands down at the bodega or something. You know, if you know, you know, with the orange drink and the ham and cheese. If you know, you know. She's acting like that when really I went to look and see where she was born. She was born in New York. It said part Long Island and part Albany. She went to school in Schenectady. Okay? And she went to school in Albany. You weren't the original Gossip Girl, okay? You weren't, what's her name? Blair Waldorf, whatever the hell. She's trying to act like she was Carrie Bradshaw. She wasn't none of that. And if you're so like big in New York, why are you going to move the whole way across the country to Utah? To Utah? No, please, come on. Pretender. So the question was, why did you bring up to Whitney why did you bring up these lawsuits when Lisa wasn't there? And Whitney was like, listen, I brought them up because I didn't believe that she wasn't there because she was working on premieres with like Ben Affleck and Blake Lively. Because I saw that she posted a picture of her looking all fresh faced down in Miami. And she looked beautiful, you know, and then Lisa had to get all defensive. Listen, because she did give you a compliment in there, but she's like, and so then she shows this picture. She pulls up this picture on her phone of her and Ben Affleck. And it was like, I was expecting it to be like current. That's why she missed, you know, it's current. It wasn't, girl, it was from 2017. Where's your picture now? If you do big things, she's like, I do big things. I started a company with the Bella twins, who obviously she no longer hangs around with and she's no longer friends with. I hang out with Daniel Radcliffe. And so you're telling me you couldn't even come up with a picture, if you were hanging out, you know, at the premiere with Ben Affleck and you missed a girls trip. I mean, meanwhile, Whitney's like, she never misses a girls trip. And she missed it for work. Oh, I think she had herself some work done in Miami. If she did, then she did. But how about if you produce a real, like a current picture of you with Ben Affleck? Speaking of pictures with Ben Affleck, now listen, this isn't current. This is way, way back in the day, but check it. How about that? There we go. Who is that? Is that me? Yes. Who's that? Is that Ben Affleck? It sure is. How about it? Look at that. Look at that. Don't we look chummy? This was taken in Pittsburgh at the Omni William Penn Hotel, in the lobby, and him and Matt Damon and Chris Rock and who else? Alanis Morissette played God, and Silent Bob and Jay, Kevin Smith. Yeah, they were all in town and they were filming Dogma. There we go. That's me and Ben Affleck. So Lisa Barlow, you're not the only one that met Ben Affleck. How about it? Okay. So as soon as she showed that, I was like, oh my God, my picture with Ben Affleck too. Check it. Okay. I guess he'll just take pictures with anybody if he takes a picture with me and Lisa. Anyways. Okay. So the question also was, hey, Bronwyn, why did you bring up the lawsuits? Bronwyn's like, listen, when I brought those up, I wasn't friends with Lisa. Lisa had blocked me. Lisa's like, you still blocked? And we weren't friends anymore. And here's the thing that I noticed. Anytime Lisa is brought up, or if there's a question, if anybody brings up a lawsuit about Lisa, or if anybody questions Lisa, she gets like very defensive, like very, very, very defensive. And I love it because here's Bronwyn talking, just, she might get a little animated, but she doesn't really raise her voice a lot, and she's not screaming, and it's effective. The only thing that Lisa can really do is yell, is talk louder, or, try and make some condescending comment, or laugh, or something. I don't know. I think Bronwyn always gets the best of her. Okay, another question was, what? I can't even read my... Oh, okay. So then then there was the whole thing of like, Lisa had mentioned how last year at reunion, Bronwyn had said that Lisa had said something about that there was a miscarriage, that Bronwyn had a miscarriage or something like that. And then it was brought up that there was a truce between Lisa and Bronwyn, that they would not talk about the kids, they would not talk about the husbands, they would not talk about the family. And she has stuck to it, but Lisa has not. And then she's like, I got this, a fan sent this to me, and it looked like it was Lisa on a plane talking smack on Todd's penis, on Todd's wiener, saying about how it's small and talking about his belly, and then went out there on Twitter and ripped on Todd again. So this isn't really, you're not sticking to the truth. And Lisa's like, it's a lie. It's a lie. How is it a lie? They showed it. They showed the video, and then they showed this tweet. And then in unaired footage from Greece, she was calling Todd like a perverted old man or something like that. And so how is that a lie? They showed it. Okay, now listen, here is further proof of the tag teaming, because I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but after she got done with her little back and forth with Bronwyn, and before they went to commercial, Lisa said to Meredith, did I miss anything? Did I get everything? Did I miss anything? And Meredith was like, yeah, you got everything. That's tag teaming. That right there. You got to make sure that I'm honestly thinking that they probably, if it's not tag teaming, then they planned it beforehand. That's what they did. Okay, there's 100, it was 100 episodes of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Listen, except for season 3, it's been just phenomenal TV. Some of the funny things, well, You Smell Like Hospital will be like, always be one of my favorites. Mary though, when Heather was like, do you think I look inbred? And instead of being like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, she was like, yes. Also the one, I still don't understand it, but I think it's funny, when Angie K said, you look like a trampoline with eyes. Oh, I don't know what it means, but I guess it means like her face is like pulled back tight or something. I don't know. But the crazy thing that I always thought was like, when Jen Shaw when they swarmed van, like the Sprinter van at Beauty Labs, you know, like in the parking lot of Laser Beauty Lab. Lisa Barlow's reaction to that, I thought that was kind of, I thought at the time, I was like, why is she getting so worked up? And now I'm like, why was she calling her lawyer? Like, after you see what Jen was doing, I thought it was odd and kind of telling, maybe, that Lisa gets on the phone with her lawyer and she's covering her mouth up and she's like, I'm physically shaking. Why? I mean, she wasn't super great friends with Jen Shaw. You know, I mean, the one that was really good friends with Jen Shaw out of all of them was Heather. So that doesn't make any sense. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if someday something comes out about Lisa Barlow. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Next, we have Brittany coming in. Brittany honestly walking in like some delusional Disney princess with that bear. I don't know. I might agree with Angie K when she says, you know, the lights are on, but no one's home. That teddy bear, with that message from Jared Joel. Listen, that man right there, he don't love you. Here's what he loves. He loves the exposure from being on that TV show. You stupid if you can. That walk that they took. Remember that walk they took? And he called her unstable. He's looking for someone more stable. I'd be like this. How about this? Is this stable enough? How about that? Kick rocks. You're gone. Okay, talking about the yacht trip. Listen, I would like for somebody to ask the question of, who brought the cucumber? Because honestly, I'm thinking it was Whitney. I'm thinking if anybody's going to be bringing that, it's Whitney. Nobody asked. But here, look, Brittany comes out. I feel like not a lot of people were feeling Brittany. Like the faces, we knew that the faces, for Brittany were not going to be great from like Mary or Meredith. Okay. Now Heather said, remember Heather on the boat said, well, me and Jason effed around. Me and Jason, we fucked around. That to me, she's like, it doesn't mean that we did anything. There was no chemistry. We didn't do anything. Yeah, when people say, oh yeah, we effed around, to me, that means in like a schmexy way, you know? It doesn't mean just as friends. Like, if you just hung out as friends, you'd be like, oh, we hung out. You wouldn't be like, we effed around. No, I don't think that. Okay, so then talk came of like Bronwyn's sealed cases. And I wrote something down and then now somebody said, you have these sealed cases. You're not barred from talking about them. You just don't want to. And she had said something like, yeah, I'm not barred. You're not barred from talking about cases if you're the one, barred from talking about sealed cases if you're the one who asked for them to be sealed. She wasn't the one who asked for them to be sealed, and she was like, I want to protect everyone, and I just am not going to be talking about it. The cases, she's saying that, listen, that case, it's something that happened at work and that somebody else did. And maybe she was just a witness or something like that. She was also like, listen, if I had a whole bunch of criminal activity, I would not, they wouldn't let me become a citizen. Like she just became a citizen. And in this, with this administration, listen, there's Jack. This administration, they just barely let, American born citizens here. You think they're gonna let somebody, where's Bronwyn from? Brazil? You think they're gonna let somebody come on with the whole, well, I mean, then again, okay, let's not get into it. Okay, the question was, all these leaks about Bronwyn's past, Bronwyn's supposed criminal past. Was Lisa responsible for those leaks? Bronwyn says, I don't think she did that. I don't think she leaked it, but she encourages people to do that. So she kind of encourages people to do her dirty work, and that way she can keep her hands clean. And she had said that she thinks someone leaked information about that, or she thinks, no, wait. So she said there was a story, and I remember seeing this story. There was a story that was saying that Bronwyn was late for the cast trip on the boat because she was worried about all these stories coming up about her alleged crimes in the past. And she's like, it had to have been someone on the boat that told people about this, that said she's the reason why she's late is because it's the past coming back at her. And Lisa, of course, said, no, it wasn't me. Okay, then there was another question, and Heather had this question of, what is Lux marketing? Like, basically, what do you do? So what do you do? When that question was asked, she once again got very defensive and very braggy. She's very braggy. She's like, Lux marketing, what we do is we cultivate this and we do that. And you've come to different events that I've had, and you've hung out with Daniel Radcliffe and Harry Potter and the Bella twins, and I own companies. I do big things, and I am important, and I am an important person, and I make billions of dollars. And she gets very upset. And then when she says, I think it's disgusting. What's disgusting? That you ask a question about what your friend does? Listen, here's the thing. Whenever Jen Shaw came on, Jen Shaw was doing what? Marketing. Right, she was marketing. And I remember when I first started watching that show, I was like, she's doing marketing, but she can afford all this stuff. True, Coach Shaw was I don't know if he still is a coach. He was a coach, but I don't think he was a big time coach. Like some of these coaches, like if you coach at Alabama, like if you coach at any of these big schools, like Alabama or Ohio State or Michigan, or any of these colleges that have a big football program, you can make you can make hundreds of millions of dollars. You can make millions of dollars. I don't think he was coaching at a school that's that big. Like he was not coaching at Utah University. Maybe he was, but I'm gonna have to check and see. But I don't think he was making like big head coaching money. You know what I mean? So I was always like, what is she doing that she's making that kind of money? Like now I'm thinking the same thing, because Vita Tequila from what I understand, there's not a lot of places where you can buy Vita tequila where it's served. And I saw another thing on, like, I think it was TikTok or something like that, where a woman was like, I went on her website, I ordered Vita tequila, I still have not gotten it. Like, Fresh Wolf, like, is that sold? She has all these different, and somebody else had said that they went on to each one of these, like, websites for these different companies that she owns, and there's no LinkedIn for any of them, and nobody that works for them has a LinkedIn, and, like, it's weird. Like, so you can see why people would question. I'm just saying, I think some shit's gonna go down with her. Not soon, but I feel like at some point. Because I don't know if she's on the up and up. Okay, and then Heather, I didn't understand when Heather was like, but we're still friends, about Lisa. She's like, we're still friends. I consider her to be my friend. Why would you want her to be your friend? Like, that I don't understand. And she said, this doesn't make sense either. Heather said, she's not a good friend. She's an important friend. She's a very important friend. What does that mean? She's important. Why? See what I mean? Like, why? Does she give you information, or does she go to your med spa a lot, or I don't understand. You know, and that's another thing when you're talking about Lux marketing, and she was getting all upset. Why get upset if it's actually a valid business? You wouldn't get that upset. Like, Heather runs a med spa, and Heather was like, if you want to ask me questions about my med spa business, go ahead. I'll tell you everything you want to know. It was weird. Didn't make any sense. So then there was questions of, like, to Angie, like, Angie, do you think she leaked it? And Angie's like, well, I got this scroll. It's an adorable little scroll. She's like, I got this scroll that was a present from Meredith. So pass it over, and when you unravel it, you'll see that Lisa has been trolling me. And how do I know that it's Lisa? Because the phone number that's used is Lisa's phone number. Ooh, I'm like, oh, girl. So next week we have part 2 of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 6 reunion. And I'm going to tell you, people will be like, why did Bronwyn get the first chair? I stand by them giving Bronwyn the first chair. Here's the reason why. Bronwyn, first of all, in that first episode, she shut down Lisa. I mean, definitively shut her down. Also, Bronwyn has been very open with a lot of her life this season. She has also brought a lot of drama. So I personally think that Bronwyn being first chair is deserved. So, okay. In the comments, let me know what you thought. And if nobody told you yet today, you are loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world, so it comes right back at you. Please, let's spread kindness, and let's spread kindness, because it is extremely needed and it is free. And if you're in a dangerous situation, wait. Always remember, be aware of your surroundings. Please be aware of your surroundings. Be smart and safe. Let's hydrate with some water right here. And if you're in a dangerous situation, know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and all that positive energy your way so you make it through. I love you guys, and I Will try to see you tomorrow. I may not. I've been getting up super early for doing overtime. By super early, I mean 4:45 in the morning. So you may not. If not, then definitely Friday. All right. Love you guys. Bye. Have a great day. Bye.